Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm Jimmy Covington, and I'm here to bring you my NFL playoff predictions and my Super Bowl predictions. In the AFC, you have the Baltimore Ravens, who are currently sitting at 11-2. They have the next 3 regular season games against the Jets, the Browns, and the Steelers. I think the Ravens will win out, go 14-2, and they'll be the number 1 overall seed in the AFC. I think they're a lot to be in the AFC Championship game. I don't think nobody's going to beat them. I think they'll end up going to a Super Bowl, but they have a tough road to go. So we'll see how it goes from there. In second place, you have the New England Patriots at 10-3. Their next 3 games are against the Bengals, the Bills, and the Dolphins. They haven't been playing well these last few weeks. Obviously, Tom Brady hasn't looked like himself, but that's because of a lack of weapon, and he's gotten a little older too. And the defense hasn't been as stellar, playing better quarterbacks. But at the end of the day, it is the New England Patriots that do know how to win football games. At third place, you have the Kansas City Chiefs. They have the Broncos, the Bears, and the Chargers left. I think they'll win out, go 12-4, and they'll end up playing the Steelers in the first round in the wild card round. They can beat the Steelers. I think they'll end up having to go to Foxborough for a divisional game, and I think they'll beat the Patriots there and play the Ravens in an AFC Championship game. Fourth place, you have the Houston Texans at 8-5. They have the Titans, the Buccaneers, and the Titans remaining. I think they'll win 2 of those games and end up being fourth place, winning their division. And they'll have to play the Buffalo Bills, who are currently sitting at the 5 seed. They have the Steelers left, the Patriots left, and the Jets left. I think they can win 2 of those last 3 games, going 11-5. I don't really see Buffalo beating the Texans in the wild card round, like I said, so I think they'll be eliminated in round 1. But in the hunt here, you still have the Titans. They have 3 games remaining against the Texans, the Saints, and the Texans again. I think they'll lose 2 of those last 3 and ultimately be eliminated from playoff contention. So in the AFC, that leaves the playoffs. You have the Ravens versus the Texans and the Patriots versus the Chiefs. I don't think the Texans can beat the Ravens in Baltimore or in Houston for that matter. We saw what they did earlier this year. Baltimore completely destroyed Houston, so I have Baltimore advancing to the AFC Championship game. As for New England, Kansas City will be traveling to New England in the divisional round, which is how I have them advancing. It's going to be a tough fought game. Last year in the AFC Championship game, the Chiefs were 1 play away from the Super Bowl. I think this year they make that 1 play, and they play the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC Championship game. There, I have the Ravens taking it on to the Super Bowl. The Chiefs did beat the Ravens earlier in the year, but I don't think they can do that again. Coming in, it's hard to beat a team twice coming into Baltimore. I don't think they can beat them. Lamar Jackson has been sensational. I think he is the MVP. Their defense has stepped up big time with the addition of Marcus Peters, and the guys are playing well. I think the Ravens do what they need to do, and they get the W and represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. All right, so let's take it to the NFC. The NFC has been hellacious this year. At first place right now, you currently have the 49ers sitting at 11-2, and their last 3 regular season games are against the Falcons, the Rams, and the Seahawks. I have the Niners winning against the Falcons and the Rams and ultimately losing against the Seahawks. I think they'll end up going 13-3 and still be in first place in the NFC and getting a bye for the first week. I have the Green Bay Packers at number 2, the number 2 seed currently. Their last 3 games are divisional opponents, and their last 2 games are on the road against Minnesota and against the Lions. I think the Packers win 2 of their next 3. I think they beat the Bears, I think they beat the Lions, and they end up going 13-3 and securing that 2 seed. The New Orleans Saints currently sit at the number 3 seed at 10-3. Their last 3 games are against the Titans, the Colts, and the Panthers. I think they win out against all 3 of those teams, end up being 13-3 at the 3 seed. At fourth place, you have the lowly Dallas Cowboys. They play against the Rams, the Eagles, and the Redskins. They currently sit at 6-7, which is terrible. I think they'll lose this Sunday against the Rams. The Cowboys are giving me no reason to pick them against a team like the Rams, who's been hot lately. I think they'll go to Philly and beat the Eagles. Over the last few years, they've owned Philly, and I think they'll own them again. And the Redskins have been terrible this year. I think Dallas can get their W. If they don't, something is very wrong. At the 5 seed at 10-3, you have the dangerous Seattle Seahawks. They close the season against the Carolina Panthers, the Cardinals, and against the 49ers at home. I think they'll win 2 of their next 3 and end up being 12-4 and a 5 seed, which is, you've never heard of a 5 seed being 12-4, but that's how good the NFC is, and that's how good the NFC West is. At the 6th place right now, you have the Minnesota Vikings at 9-4. Their last 3 games are against the Chargers, at home versus the Packers, and against the Bears. I have the Vikings beating the Chargers at home. LA it's not a tough place to play for anybody. It's not really a home field advantage, so I think the Chargers will lose their game against the Vikings. I think they'll beat the Packers too while they're at home. The Vikings will beat the Packers while they're at home. I think they'll beat the Bears too. They'll end up being 12-4 and at the 6th seed as well. From there, the Vikings will go to New Orleans, and I don't think the Vikings can beat New Orleans in the Dome. I just don't really think they can. Seattle will have to go to Dallas. I think Seattle can get it done and beat Dallas at home. Dallas has been terrible and inconsistent all year long. They haven't beaten a winning team with a winning record, so I don't see any reason to pick them now. From there, I see the Saints going to play the 49ers in San Francisco. I think the 49ers get the job done again, second time around. I know it's very hard to beat a team twice, but I think the 49ers being at home gives them an edge against the Saints. For the other divisional game, we have the Seahawks versus the Packers. I think Seattle can win this game. I think they end up beating Green Bay in Green Bay. The Packers are more of a finesse team this year, and Seattle is more physical, and they have Russell Wilson. They can run the football. I know Rashad Penny is out for the rest of the year, but Chris Carson is more than capable of carrying the load. And I think Russell Wilson and Bobby Wagner and Jadeveon Clowney find a way to get it done. And I have the Seahawks playing the 49ers in the NFC Championship game. It'll be the 3rd game of the season, and I have the 49ers beating them again and going on to the Super Bowl. So here in the Super Bowl, you have the Baltimore Ravens versus the San Francisco 49ers. They played a couple weeks ago, and Baltimore Ravens ultimately came out on top. And in the Super Bowl, I see it happening again. I think the Baltimore Ravens are a team of destiny. They've played well on all sides of the ball, all phases of the game. I think they've been the best team all year long. Lamar Jackson has been absolutely sensational. He's revolutionizing the game. Adding Marcus Peters, I think, put them over the top defensively. So now they have 2 great corners, a great safety in Earl Thomas. They still have guys like Jimmy Smith and Brandon Carr on the back end. And I think they ultimately get the job done against Jimmy G and the 49ers. Thank you.